Good evening, everyone. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new dawn and a new season here at Gavra Racing. It's great to be back. I'm Jack TM53, your commentator, as per usual for Tier 1 and Tier 2 at Gavra Racing. It's fantastic to be back, and I'm looking forward to the action over the subsequent rounds that are going to be coming up in this championship. We're here for the evaluation and the qualification races at Portimao, a track that was only built in 2008, very new. So it's only 15 years old, this circuit, but what a track and what an impression it's made on the racing community already, and of course within Formula One. We've got a number of drivers out on circuit, but let me just give you a little bit of a rundown of how tonight's evaluation and qualification races work. For context, just so you're aware, the evaluation races start off with just to make sure that the drivers who have come in brand new to the championship are, well equipped to be racing in the league. It's important that the driving standards are at the correct standard that they need to be, and it also allows them to understand a little bit about, racecraft and etc. Being able to just race cleanly, effectively, is what we're looking for. Then you've got the qualification race, which will give a little bit more in terms of speed, seeing how the drivers adapt to which preferred potential league they'd end up being, so maybe the first tier league or the second tier league, depending on how that plays out. But we will soon find out how everyone gets on over the session tonight, which we've got here. We're live already, of course, and then the next session later on this evening, 8 o'clock British Standard Time, for the effectively tier 1 time is what it would be at, but it's can't call it tier 1 just yet. After the tier 1 events later on this evening, Gavra will be unveiling the calendar. I just hope that we don't have 3 times Saudi Arabia like we did in the last draw that we had last season, but hopefully in any case we'll have a good calendar for the rest of this championship. But enough about the regs, enough about the regulations, enough about the statistics, etc. Let's have a look at the drivers who are out on circuit at the moment. Currently, I'll go through the order just so you're aware. You've got Jorty 2003 on provisional pole on a 117.8. Then you've got Italy Toy TA on a 117.9. Psycho out on track in an Aston Martin this season. Always swaps car every season, does Psycho. Nor a tier 1 driver who's right in the mix in the championship was Psycho last season. He finished 4th in the end. He will certainly be one to watch for tonight's pair of races. He gets out of the way of the McLaren there nicely. You've got Money Game 44 on a 118.5. Don't know if he set that lap time on medium tyres though. We're not sure just yet. Jay Evans, a very solid driver in the Ferrari this season, a 118.6. Roby HT, a 118.8. Liam 567 and the Steps VRBS, the two McLarens, practically identical times, 118.9s. Fake Knutson on a 119 flat, with Jossing just going into the pits by the looks of it in the Red Bull, a 119.1. Cable Monkey in the Alpine on a 119.3. That's a new PSN title I've seen this season alongside, I believe, the Steps and Liam. Money Game, and I'm not sure about Jorty. I'm not 100% certain on that one. Frank Martin, another new face, 119.4. You've got JMB Surreal, a returning driver from Lobby 2, of course, alongside Luffy 1691. You've got Sick Boy -16 in 15th. I'm going to probably overpronounce that, I reckon, through the course of the evening. You've got Tutty Boy, I'm going to call him. He's on a 121.3 on the medium tyres, but he's just crossed the line. Doesn't prove, but still on a medium, so definitely more speed to come from the Alfa Romeo. You've got Scatcher 81 and Mellow Bellow, who's doing some sea-infused donuts, we'll call them, getting back on the circuit. Looks like he's gone off, actually. It's on the exit of turn 8. Mellow Bellow, another regular within Gavra Racing. Certainly one to watch out for as the season unfolds. So 8 and a bit minutes to go. Got, like I say, a few new faces out on circuit. I'm not sure about Jorty. It's very similar to another driver that I've commentated on before called Jolty. Might be a name change potentially there, but he is leading the way, and he's on a lap at the moment in the Haas, the number 2 on the side of his car. There's a couple of drivers who picked the number 2 in this league, I've noticed. He's building onto a lap. What's his first sector like? He's fastest on his best lap so far. 400ths of a second quicker at the moment. It's coming through this as Psycho goes quicker on a 117.6. A little bit of oversteer for Jorty as he went through turn 8 at Samsung there. Through completely flat out through turns 9, 10, not 11, and no braking through turn 10 really for Portimao Bend. This sector very difficult to get right, turns 13. He's done very well, has Jorty, on this lap so far, currently in second place, down into third gear, short shifts to fourth. So he gets on the power a little bit earlier, again another little short shift into fifth, but he's away, completely flat of course in Formula 1 cars. Around Portimao shouldn't be no problem. Looked like a tidy lap from the Haas driver, but will it be quick enough? It is quick enough to move him into second place for the Haas driver. I noticed Utility Toy there as well, going up into second place briefly. Obviously not the case now. But very competitive top four. You'd expect, of course, Jay Evans, Utility Toy, Psycho, you'd expect those three to typically be in tier 1. They're very quick drivers. Certainly a few drivers to watch. Roby HT was another driver who was in the mix last season as well. Fake Knutson and Luffy, both of them were having some good fights in tier 2 last season, those two. I'm just watching at the moment a couple of drivers out on circuit, a couple of yellow flags pinging around the circuit, but I think it's just drivers getting out of the way of those on a lap. I think Milo Bello actually is the culprit. No, it's not. It's JMB Surreal who's the culprit there, just going a little bit slowly through the second sector. Jossing is 0.05 of a second up on his lap, but he's completely backed out of that one. He's decided he's had enough in the Red Bull. Money Game's still out on the medium compound tyres in 7th place. A strong showing already. If he gets onto the soft tyres, you'd expect at least 1 second gained in terms of tyre performance around Portimao. I think he's going to come into the pits actually, is Money Game. No, he doesn't. So Money Game goes on for another lap. He's got no ERS effectively at this point, does the Williams. I wonder if he's just, well, he slowed right down. I was going to say, I wonder if he was just going to potentially do some race running just so he gets used to the medium compound tyres, but evidently that wasn't the case. Who else is on our lap at the moment? Liam's about to go onto a lap in 10th place. So here he comes in the McLaren towards turn 1. Hopefully the race picks him up. Through turn 1, nicely done, really committed through turns 1 and 2. And then down on the brakes into third gear, into second gear for Lagos. And then through turn 4, difficult to get flat. And Liam was just a little bit feathering the throttle through there, but no problems. He's 300ths up at the moment. Brakes just after the 100-meter marker board, down into second gear for Torre Vip. Using all of the curb and more was the McLaren driver as he sweeps his way through turn 7. And then on the brakes into third gear. Just taking his time, picking up the throttle, the McLaren driver, but that's no problem. Keeping it nice and steady. You want a solid lap around it. It's very easy to light up the tyres and go spinning off the circuit. Nicely done through Portimao Bend. Here he comes into turn 13. Second gear corner for Liam. Gets that right. And then again through turn number 14 at Sagres, completely flat from here for the McLaren driver. He's been moved down to 11th. But this has looked like a solid lap from Liam. Will it be enough to see him improve? It is, and he goes up to 5th place, right at the top of the timings for those in the 1:18s. Bit of a gap now between the top 4 and 5th place, but Liam's put himself in a handy position there on the third row of the grid with 3 and a bit minutes remaining in the session. Frank Martin there in 6th position. He's going on to a lap as well. Is the Red Bull driver. Oh, he's just a little bit wide through turn one, probably distracted by the McLaren out in front of him. That would have been the Steps VRBS. In fact, Frank Martin has backed out of the lap entirely. So he's decided not to carry on. Ooh, fake Knutson getting the tail out on the Haas there. That was good car control from Mr. Knutson. Tutty Boy in 10th place there. We've got Tutty Boy and Sick Boy for this evening's escapades. I'm looking forward to... Should we call it the Battle of the Boys? Let's call it the Battle of the Boys. See how they get on. Luffy in 11th place, another Tier 2 regular. Had a couple of point scores last season, did Luffy. Missed a few rounds though, I know he wasn't available for everything, but it's good to see him in the racing events for tonight in that Ferrari. It seems a number of drivers have got the number 2. I wonder if that's it's a popular number choice. I'm having a look through. The Jocelyn's got number 7, Steps has got number 16. Sick Boy, I think he's got 61, it looks like. Yeah, it is indeed. 75 for JMB Surreal, which is... So, yeah, it is 75 showing on the side of JMB Surreal's car, which is interesting. But drivers coming out now for their outlaps. Psycho, Jorty, Jay Evans is just about to go on to a flying lap. They all want to get pole position. It's a big stamp mark, really, for anyone who gets pole position tonight. Not just in the evaluation race, but the qualification race as well. It's a really big stamp of authority to say, look everybody, I'm the fastest on raw speed around a very difficult circuit. Has to be said, Portimao isn't easy. That normally bodes well for the season ahead, those that perform. Oh, Luffy has retired. I think he's retired out on track though. I don't think he's hit the wall or anything. Doesn't look like it now. His AI is just out on track there. But Psycho's gone onto his lap. Jorty's off on his main lap, so he's gone off at turn 1 there. There's Jorty, so that's a qualification ender for him. USD Toy TA goes provisionally pole. I just cut to him as he was crossing the line, a 117.5. Cracking effort. Psycho is fastest in the first sector though on his lap. He's currently half a tenth ahead of his best. I think that's Jay Evans moving. Oh, it looked like he was moving up the order, but it was actually Frank Martin who moved up to 5th place there. Psycho just taking it easy through turn 8 there at Samsung. Definitely using a higher gear. Doesn't want to spin the rear tyres. Nice line through turn 11. He's right on the limit with Psycho, but he is almost 2 tenths up on his best lap so far. The Aston Martin is flying at the moment, down to 3rd gear for Sagres at turn 14. He's on the power now. It's completely flat all the way to the line. Will this be enough for Psycho to retake pole position? Comes up towards the line, DRS open. And he does go pole. It's Psycho currently on provisional pole. Is there anybody else on a lap to try and counter that? Frank Martin's on a lap. He's in 6th at the moment, but he's down, well down actually on that lap. And I think the Steps isn't going any quicker. Cable Monkey's going quicker in 12th. The Alpine coming towards the line. DRS comes pretty much right after there. He does go quicker, but it's nowhere near enough. Jossing is backed out of it. Mellow Bello just goes straight into the pit. So it's Psycho in the Aston Martin. Pole position for that British Racing Green car. Psycho will be happy with that. I say British Racing Green, it's very close to it. More of a metallic version. New Italy Toy TA in 2nd there. The Haas of Jorty in 3rd. Jay Evans in 4th in that Ferrari. Money Game in 5th place. Frank Martin in 6th place. Liam 7th. Good to see some fresh faces in the top 10. Roby HT in 8th. Fake Knutson will be happy with that in 9th. The Steps in 10th place. Tutty Boy in 11th. You've got Cable 12th. I think the Luffy in 13th place. Luffy will be happy with that. That's a good qualifying for him. Jossing in 14th, Milo Bello in 15th. He's a quicker driver than that. Sick Boy in 16th and JMB Surreal, both Alpha Tauris, 15th and 17th. They're quicker than that. Expect to see, hopefully for their sake, a little bit of movement through the field. Those two drivers usually a lot faster. Have been on the podium before. We're just waiting for Jossing's car to be officially classed as in the pits, and there we go. So fair play to Psycho, he's on pole position. Only 4 drivers getting into the 1 minute 17s. Psycho, Italy Toy, Jorty and Jay Evans. All, well, this is an interesting one. The top 10 drivers, technically Liam and Roby, they don't have a flag officially selected, but the top 10 drivers, all completely different nationalities. Psycho British, Italy Toy TA is Italian, Jorty's got the Dutch flag, Jay Evans got the Maltese flag. Whether he's Maltese, I don't know. He might be. Money Game, English, Frank Martin, Austrian, you got Fake Nuts in Norwegian, you got the Steps, Czech flag there, or Czechia flag I should say now. It's fantastic to see. But the field quite close together. All the drivers, they managed to set a lap time within 2 seconds of pole position. So really competitive for everybody around what might be a typically short track. You know, it's only 1 minute 17 was the pole lap time just then. But it's still a challenging circuit. People who aren't used to league racing around a track such as this would find that quite difficult to set a lap time very close to that. So fair play to the drivers. That's a good effort from them. A couple of comments in the Twitch chat area there. Just having a little look through those. We are only moments away now from the first race of the season. And I'm excited to find out who's going to win this evaluation race. Put a marker down for everybody. So here we go then. 5 lights coming up here at Portimao. And the race is live here from Portugal. Looks like a relatively good start from the front two, but I think Italy Toy TA's done even better than Psycho, and he has done. And he's going to have the inside line for turn 1. There's a couple of cars going side by side through turn 4. Bit of contact, that's Roby round. That's one of the Red Bulls gone off as well. I think that's Frank Martin. There seems to be 4 into 1, just didn't work there. And those two have dropped down like a stone, unfortunately for them too. But it's Italy Toy who leads the way, but he's under pressure already from Psycho. He's going to have to go defensive into turn 5 at Torrevit. And he does indeed, he keeps the line, Jay Evans. That's a great move from Money Game around the outside. A new driver in the league, and that's a wonderful effort. In the Williams, he's up into 3rd position. Great overtake there. Steps is up 5 places. Jossing's up 8 places into 6th. That's fabulous from the Red Bull of Jossing. He'll be chuffed with that at the moment. Tutty Boy's up to 7th. That's a good start for him. It's all kicking off at the moment. There's another bit of, I think there's been a bit of an incident at the back. I think Cable Monkey's gone round. Non-ideal start for, but Psycho's got into the lead. I haven't caught that. Italy Toy went backwards. I wonder if he's had a bit of an error coming out of turn 7 and 8. But he's dropped 2 places. Money Game is in 2nd position, but it's Psycho, man on pole position, who leads them over the checkered, I say checkered line really, because it's on the floor. Money Game closing the gap though, using the ARS. Will he look to go around the outside? He doesn't, but Psycho goes so wide at turn 1, keeps the track position. Might have got a warning from that, I suspect, from the in-game penalty system. Doesn't take much of that nonsense lying around. There's Jay Evans, there's the steps. Oh, Money Game for going for the inside line. He's gone through. Psycho, though, trying to overtake off the circuit, and sure enough, he has to back out of that one. And Money Game leads the way. He's on the soft tyres, admittedly, compared to Psycho, but that is still a great opening 2 laps for Money Game. He'll be very happy leading on his debut. There's Jay Evans, there's the steps. The steps are just falling away a little bit. Liam in 7th, Fake Nuts in 8th. Tutty Boy's on the hard tyres in 10th place, the only driver on the hard tyres. The rest of the field is a very mixed bag between the soft and the medium tyres. I'll run through those shortly, but it's Money Game leading the way. And can he make use of those soft tyres? I'll tell you who is though, your Italy Toy TA. He won't be happy with the mistake he made before. Psycho is pretty much powerless here, but he can't really do much. Can you Italy Toy TA? Can he now get alongside him on the inside for the brakes at turn 1? And he's through. Ooh, ran a little bit wide. Oh, he's trying to look to the outside line, was Psycho, but he didn't quite get there. Everyone very hesitant at the start of this race through turn 4. It's a very difficult left-hander. Psycho looking to that outside potential position. I say outside potential position, realistically the inside line I really was looking for. But Jay Evans is right there in that group. Steps holding on quite well. Ooh, as I say that, he has a little wobble through turn 4. That's Jay Evans going around the outside of the Psycho. Psycho lighting up the wheels. I saw that through turn 5. And he can't get back through, can he? He's trying to use a different line to get back past Jay Evans. Is he going to go for the inside of turn 14? He is doing. These two giving each other enough racing room. It's really good racecraft between the two of them. Jay Evans now on the inside for Sagres. Oh, this is absolutely unbelievable racing between the two of them, but Jay Evans gets the move completed. Watch out for the steps though. He'll have a much more better momentum than these two, and the DRS is now open, of course. On lap 3, Psycho goes back through. Oh, I thought the steps was going to try and join in on the fun. He decided better of it. But the Psycho, Jay Evans, steps, and Liam moving up to 6th place there. Oh, that's Jossing round. That's the Red Bull round. Scatcher, I think, has gone round as well. In fact, he's racing the wrong way, so it's not gone well for him. Oh, what's happened to the steps? He's gone backwards. Everywhere you look, there's action all over the circuit. It's really difficult to keep a track of. Usually, Toy TA trying to make a little impression on the back of that Williams rear wing. He's not quite close enough at the moment. There's fights all over the field. It's great to watch. Jay Evans there in 4th position. Psycho in 3rd. Seems to have just stabilised a little bit between those two, so we'll watch the front two fighting. Because Italy Toy looks very racy at the moment. He knows he's got to try and get away from those medium shod runners. That's Psycho, Jay Evans, and as well, you know, the steps of Fake Nuts are right in this too. Don't discount them. Italy Toy's got none of his ERS left, but he will have DRS on this main straight now. But Money Game just uses a little bit of ERS to pull away. And he should be okay going into turn 1, and he is indeed. Ooh, Psycho running wide. Psycho's got to be careful of running wide at turn 1. That might cause him a couple of penalties to come up there, and that's the last thing you want in a 25% race, because that could make a huge difference, especially with another safety car, well, potentially with a safety car. Oh, that's Jossing going down again. He's gone. Oh, there's actually a bit of contact between him and JMB Surreal has gone off too. Not ideal for those. Italy Toy, though, is certainly very quick in the middle sector. It looks like he's running potentially a little bit more front wing than the Williams driver of Money Game in front of him. But those two just can't pull away from Psycho and Jay Evans. Psycho, of course, a very quick driver, numerous pole positions from the last 2 seasons for Psycho. Jay Evans was very impressive last season as well, got a couple of podiums. Looking for a potential race victory is the Ferrari man. But look at this now, 3 cars within 3/10 of one another practically as they come on to the start of lap 6. DRS wide open for Italy Toy, but he's got no ERS. He's closing the gap, but he won't get there. He won't be close enough. Ooh, he's clipped the curb, and round goes Italy Toy, and that's that for him. Can he get it pointing in a straight line quick enough? He can. But he was trying everything to get past Money Game, but he clipped the inside of the curb. He's just got to get his tyres cooled down now. He's got Tutty Boy right behind him. And I said earlier, actually, I tell you what, Tutty Boy looking for a move. He is going to go up the inside as the Alfa Romeo, and he's through into 7th place, but the cutback from Italy Toy was easy enough. And for 8th and 9th place, I said it earlier, will there be a battle of the boys? There are. Tutty Boy and Sick Boy right next to each other for 8th and 9th. See how they get on through the race. Back to the front. Currently, for the top 3, they've just about pulled away about a second from Liam. He's hanging on in that McLaren, but it's a really good showing from Liam at the moment. But Jay Evans right in the wheel tracks of Psycho, who's also in the wheel tracks of Money Game. But the difference is that Psycho has a bit of ERS to use, unlike you Italy Toy. And he's getting on with it, is Psycho. He's put the hammer down. ERS is open. Sorry, DRS is open. I should correct myself. He's looking to the inside, but he's not going to quite get there. Money Game just applying a liberal defence, but he's left the door slightly open for Psycho. Give each other racing room, the pair of them. Money Game should have the inside line for turn 5. It's very close between the two. He's squeezing all the way. Psycho almost on the grass as they come towards the hairpin. Money Game breaks a little bit later. I'm on board with Jay Evans for this one. Psycho runs across the track. Oh, that's going to get a bit messy. They just about survive it. A little bit of contact, but Money Game stays in front. Psycho staying alongside him. Oh, Jay Evans gets it all wrong, and Liam goes through. So Liam 567 moves into 3rd position now. Wow, fantastic. I've got to say, this is going to be something that might have to be looked at, but Psycho's liberal usage of the track limits there, that's the 2nd time he's done it at the hairpin. I wouldn't be too happy if I was one of the other drivers who were getting blocked by it. But that's one for the stewards to decide, not for me, of course. But Psycho's going to have a 2nd attempt to get past the Williams. He's got a little bit of ERS available to him. He's not using any of it, though. I think he's going to try and save some of his battery this time around for Psycho. But he wants a race win. He's desperate, is Psycho. Shown it on more than enough occasions that he deserves to win it. It's just being able to do that as Jeff flies past Liam into 3rd place. Oh, Liam just about keeping on the throttle there. It was a little bit sketchy for him through turn 4. Jay Evans having to defend from Liam. It's a really feisty performance from the two McLarens. And don't discount Fake Nuts in here. He's just driving around in 6th place, but he is putting in a really solid shift. Any form of incident, or they keep holding each other up, Fake Nutsin could decide to undercut all of these drivers in that Haskell. And through goes the steps. Liam got a little bit twitchy on the exit in that McLaren. And that's good racecraft from the two McLaren drivers. Look at Psycho. Look how close Psycho is on the back of Money Game in 2nd place here. You feel this time he's going to have the opportunity to get past him as long as he doesn't make a mistake through the flat right-hander, which he hasn't done. And Money Game goes into the pits. So the soft tyres are done for Money Game. That puts Psycho and releases him and Jay Evans. Liam also into the pits as well on the soft compound tyre. Fake Nutsin carries on in 4th place. Tutty Boy, of course, on the hard tyres. He's got Milo Bello right behind him. Milo Bello, is he going to try and do a switch back? Probably not quite close enough. But he does have... Oh, a Sick Boy picks up a 5-second penalty. Speeding in the pit lane, unfortunately for him. I was saying about Milo Bello, he's on the softer compound tyres compared to Tutty Boy. When I say softer, I mean it's one step softer. Medium to hard. The recovering Italy Toy TA up to 13th place now. And one driver that I haven't really mentioned but sort of got involved in all of the opening lap chaos was Jorty. He qualified in the top 3, did Jorty in the Haskell, but he's down in 15th at the moment. Hasn't really recovered from that, unfortunately, from that opening incident. But we see that the soft compound runners, they pitted on the lap just gone. Josling's still out there at the moment. It says that the medium tyre runners, they'll probably be in the next lap or two. tyre wear seems to be quite nice around Portimao. Jay Evans is closing the gap on Psycho, but he's not going to be close enough to make a challenge. Steps now has Fake Nuts to contend with, who's within DRS. Got Milo Bello looking for a move up the inside for 5th place on Tutty Boy, but he just can't quite squeeze through. Oh, Jay Evans has picked up a time penalty. That will not help him in the fight for the race lead. So the Ferrari driver, if he does get past Psycho, is going to have to pull out 3 seconds on that Aston Martin. That's going to be very, very difficult to do. As Liam picks up a 3-second time penalty, the warnings are coming now. The penalties are starting to come. You can see on the, I don't know whether the race director has got the penalties listed on the side of the timing screens for you. But there are currently 7 drivers now with penalties that they'll have to serve, if not under a pit stop, but certainly at the end of the race. And that's going to be a challenge for those drivers to pull out the gap that they need to do. Watch the Psycho with Jay Evans. Will they decide to pit this time around? No, they carry on for another lap as they go on to lap 11. 7 laps, including this one remaining. Fake Nutson using all of his ERS. Well, he has none as he was going down the main straight, but he's right there with the steps. This is a good showing from the steps. Both McLaren drivers have had a bit of good time in the sun before. Money Games out on the medium tyres, of course. Tutty Boy yet to make a pit stop. If he's on the hard tyres, he doesn't have to come in yet. But the leading driver of those that has made a pit stop is Money Game. He's 5 seconds behind Roby HT, so he's got a lot of time and space for him to move into, get those medium tyres in a working window and get some good laps set down on the timings board. Let's have a look at the leading gap. He's 25 seconds behind Psycho at the moment. Trying to see whether they're lapping at the same pace, but we'll find out at the end of this lap. It seems to have quietened down for the time being. Now, lap 11. Does Psycho pit? No. Jay Evans carries on as well. The steps just weaving a little bit in the main straight. He's far enough ahead of Fake Nuts and he doesn't have to worry about that. Dangerous weaving. Everyone really pushing the limits here at the moment as Frank Martin comes into the pits and he picks up a 5-second time penalty as well. So that's a penalty for the Red Bull team to have to try and deal with later on in the race. Cable Monkey in the pits as well. So they're getting rid of those medium compound tyres, trying to do the undercut on those around them and get onto the soft compound tyre. But Frank Martin's life made a little bit more harder now because he's got that 5-second penalty to deal with. As Toitier gets himself now into the outer reaches of the top 10. He's in 11th, so he's not quite there just yet. JMB Surreal's fighting with Liam in 9th place. That gap between Money Game and Psycho has not changed. It's still 25 seconds between the two. So it'll all come down to how quick the pit stop is from the Aston Martin and Ferrari crews. And they're going to be considering coming in this lap, surely. Yes, they are indeed. Psycho has bolted into the pit. And we've got rain here at Portimao, ladies and gentlemen. The rain is falling, definitely down the main straight. Will it come heavy enough? Psycho's gone for the intermediate tyres. That is a very, very early call. I don't know if it's raining heavily enough. Is everybody bolting into the pits? They're not. Roby's gone into the pits. He was on the medium tyres. He's scheduled to come in. JMB Surreal comes in. I'm watching Money Game. Look at Money Game just closing the gap on Psycho. Hopefully the race director is picking up 6th place. We'll see here a true difference between the intermediate and the dry compound tyre. On the brakes, yeah, Money Game's visibly faster got way more traction than Psycho, but that's just on this lap. The next lap, it could be very, very different. A couple of other drivers are going on for the intermediate tyres, so maybe this was the right call from Psycho. But he also has to factor in that Jay Evans and the Steps and Fake Knudsen are all out there in front of him on medium compound tyres. Into the pits comes Fake Knudsen, so he decides it is time for him to get onto a new set of tyres. But will he pick dry compound tyres, or will he pick the intermediate compound? Oh, Psycho having a huge wobble coming out of turn 14. Obviously, the Haas pit garage is right at the end of the pit lane. And Fake Knudsen is on. I can't see, actually. That's really frustrating. I can't see what tyres are. As Money Game goes past Psycho, Fake Knudsen's on the intermediates. I don't think it's heavy enough. I'm just looking at the gap between Jay Evans and Psycho, and they're sort of lapping at the same pace. Huge amount of oversteer for Psycho as he goes through turn 4. DRS has been disabled, so that might be the call. Was the pit stop from Psycho maybe a lap too early? He's got more grip now than Money Game. I could see this. You can all see this visually if you're watching. Psycho is all over the back of that Williams. And he's going to have to pit again, surely. Look at this. He's got all the traction in the world. And Psycho, oh, they hang it through turn 11. Fantastic. Between the two drivers, Psycho gets on the throttle just a little bit too early. Jay Evans is in the pits, as is the Steps. Oh, a little bit of contact between Psycho and Money Game. He won't be happy about that. Into the pits comes Tutty Boy. Milo Bello fires into the pits as well. Oh, Tutty Boy's picked up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Amateur hour in the pits. How close? No, Money Game has stayed out. He's going to risk it. Where's Jay Evans in relation to the two? He's in front. So Jay Evans, the gamble has paid off. He's on the intermediate tyres. Now the big gamble now is from Money Game. Can he keep enough heat in the medium compound tyres to stay ahead of Psycho? Whether he'll have the pace to catch Jay Evans is unknown. Every lap is going to be very, very different. We don't know if the rain is going to be heavy enough. But this is a fascinating end to this race. Money Game is just wheel spinning at the moment. And I think Psycho is visibly quicker. In fact, yeah, looking at the gap now, in the last 3 corners, Money Game has just lost 8/10 to Jay Evans. It's time for intermediates. It was a brave decision for Money Game, but I don't think it's going to pay off. He's trying to hold on. But this is bringing the Steps into play now. He's right there with these two. Psycho's got to get past Money Game. He's got to get around him, and that's a brilliant move around the outside. Has he got through? He's done it. But the gap is now 3.5 seconds, and Jay Evans, who of course, don't forget, has that 3-second penalty. It's all going to come down to who's going to be strong enough on the intermediate tyres. Money Game bails into the pits. He's going to drop probably down to 8th place, I reckon. But that's a really good debut from him. Oh, Sick Boy's left the session. I think might be some connection problems. He was running in the top 10 as well, Sick Boy. Oh, Jay Evans has lost a lot of time. He's had a big moment. So, the revised order. Jay Evans leads the way. He's 1 second clear of Psycho. Psycho doesn't even need to overtake Jay Evans. He will win the race based on merit, in terms of, I say merit, or rather on the time penalties. Steps is 3rd, Fake Knudsen's 4th. Liam is still out on the medium compound tyres. Now he's going all in the hope that he doesn't get caught. He's going to get caught by Tutty Boy, but will he get caught by Milo Bello? He's a few seconds further back, but this is a commandeering call from Liam. I've got to say, it's very brave, but through goes Tutty Boy. That wasn't something he needed to even think much for the Alfa Romeo. He glides on through. It's a gallant effort if Liam can come home and 7th position. But he is clearly on. Oh, he's struggling so much as Liam on the medium compounds. He's lost 3 seconds already to Tutty Boy. Oh, he's nowhere near close to being flat through the final corner as Liam. Milo Ballo much more committed, well, almost too committed. Roby and Uisley Toy are very close on circuit. Jorty just gets past Sick Boy, but that's because he's ghosted. So Roby and Uisley Toy TA are the closest fight on circuit, but this is a battle for 9th place. As Milo Bello picks up a time penalty. Here comes Uisley Toy TA for 9th position. Easy as you like. Roby not going to be stupid on this one. He knows he's got a penalty as Milo Bello gets past the ailing McLaren now. Jay Evans leads the way, but he's only got 1 second. He's got to keep pushing because the steps is on for 2nd place here. Scatcher picks up a 10-second time penalty for corner cut. He went off the road. That's a bit of a mean penalty. But Jay Evans, he's going to round this penultimate corner here at Sagres. He's going to cross the line in 1st place. He might have just fended off the steps, to be fair to him. Here comes Jay Evans towards the checkered flag. He's going to cross the line. Psycho's picked up a penalty. Would you believe it? And Jay Evans has won it. And the steps finishes 2nd. Wow. Fake nuts in 4th. Tutty Boy, what a debut. 5th place. Milo Bello's going to be 6th. Money Games got past Liam. I got to give credit to Liam for trying. He's probably going to finish 9th, I think, because he's got a 3-second penalty. Oh, Uisley Toy just running as far over the grass as he could, and he gets 8th place in the end. Roby finishes 10th, the last of the point scorers. Well done to everybody else who's going to finish this race, because that was challenging at the end. Jay Evans, wow, wins it at the end. Psycho ran wide at the final corner, and I did say earlier, I mentioned it about the track extensions. It was going to catch Psycho out, and it did at the final corner. And he's going to be really annoyed at that, is Psycho. That should have been a victory for him, but instead he's 3rd. Steps takes 2nd on debut. What a fantastic result for the McLaren driver. He'll be really chuffed to pieces with that. But that is some excitement right at the end of the race, the final corner, literally. Driver, Milo Bello, and rightfully so, he came up right from the back of the grid, did Milo, so really good result for him. As the Ferrari driver makes his way to the podium places there, which Jay Evans, the winner, started 10th, finished 2nd. Great result for him. Psycho in 3rd. What could have been, but his penalty stops him in the end. Fake Knutson up from 9th place to finish 4th. Tutty Boy in 5th. You got Milo Bello in 6th position, up from 15th. That's a great effort. Money Game in 7th. He led the way at one point. I think he can be proud of that. That was a really good showing from him. In the end, wet weather just contributed to him falling down from where he probably would have finished in the top 3 had it not been for the wet weather, but not to worry. Uisley Toy in 8th. Liam, a valiant effort on his medium compound tyres right at the end there, 9th. Roby in 10th. J&B Surreal finished 11th, just outside the points in the end. He only missed out by 2 seconds from getting points. Jorty didn't really recover in the end from that top 3 placing, and then that incident at the first corner. That's suffered for him quite greatly from that incident. Don't really quite know what happened. From my perspective, it looked as if 4 cars tried to go into turn 1 and it just didn't work, and Frank Martin suffered as a result of that. Sick Boy obviously got round in the end. Whether he was driving is another matter. Cable Monkey finished 15th. Jossing was 16th, who was doing really well at the start, but he spun off. That's sometimes how it goes. Scatcher in 17th. He got to the end. Did Scatcher. And Luffy 1691 didn't finish the race, unfortunately. So a bit of a moment now for everybody to take stock of what has gone on. Just having a little bit of a look at the race director. Yeah, see Frank and Liam all involved in that turn 1 incident. Roby's certainly one of the worst come off that. And then loads of exceeding track limits going on there from the drivers. I'm having to scroll quite a long way down, to be fair. And Psycho picked up picked up 2 track limit warnings. Ooh. He won't be happy with that. Little Psycho, but he picked up 2, I believe, on the last lap. Well, that was an exciting race to start off for the season with. Always fun in the opening race, but nobody thought that was going to happen. Jorsey saying as well in the comments, everything that could go wrong for me went wrong, and it certainly seemed that way. No fault of his own, that's just how it goes sometimes. But at present, drivers just having a little bit of a breather and a little bit of a slow down. I'll stay. Just take stock of what's gone on in that race. And Gavra just making a couple of little edits to the lobby. Seems that something's gone a little bit askew. We've lost a couple of drivers as well, actually, from the lobby, I've noticed. Luffy apologising for what went on at turn 1. Having a look through other comments, Frank Martin saying really bad race for me. It happens. If it's your debut, Frank, it doesn't always go to plan, but you've got another race now to build on. The Steps also in the comments saying I'm not going to repeat exactly what he said. I'll say it in a less colourful language, shall I say. He was certainly bricking it at the start of the race, was the Steps. But in the end, both drivers who've commented there in the chat, both finished, and that's what it's all about, gaining that experience. Might not sound like much to some people who are new to league racing, but just getting to the finish sometimes can give you a lot more experience than just quitting after 3 laps. That's so important. Psycho accidentally left, which is why there was a couple of things there. Steps asking whether there'll be whether the safety car will be off. I don't believe so. I don't believe it will be. So now for the next race, everyone, for those that don't know, the qualification race, this is going to give Gavra and the team a little bit more understanding of where pace-wise everybody is and whether they should be in Tier 1 or Tier 2. Certainly think Money Games showed quite a lot of speed. Certainly think the McLarens, both McLarens showed a lot of speed to potentially be in Tier 1 there. But that's just one race, certainly just one track. You don't know how these different circuits might just change things a little bit. You know, the drivers will have had a little bit of time to practice around Portimao. Nobody knows the calendar, of course, for next season. Not even Gavra knows the the calendar. We'll find that out after the 2 races that happen for the Tier 1 lobby time, I should say, at 8 o'clock later this evening. That's British Standard Time for those that are unaware. Of course, I'll be commentating on that too. And if it's anything to go by after this first set of races, I'm really looking forward to it. Norwegian Woody saying Jolt Psycho J Evans. So effectively then, I was right. I had a feeling it was the case that... Where is he? That is Jolty Jolt? Because if that's the case, he's definitely changed his name. I had a feeling that was the case. Yeah, it is. There we go. I thought that was the case. I just wasn't 100% sure. But like I say, Gavra, just setting up the lobby, taking a little bit of time to make sure everything's right. We've got to make sure everything is present and correct when we're doing these races. One-shot qualification for this session, so expect to see Psycho near the front. He usually will appear at the front. He's very quick over 1 lap speed. Was very impressed as well by Jay Evans' performance before. He put in a very good race, won the race as well, which is quite a big event for Jay Evans, really. I think he'd be very happy with that. Jolty. I'm not 100% now Norwegian, would he? Couple of drivers readying up. I'm just going to look to see if we are ready to go. I think for the comment that for those that obviously are watching this on YouTube, they can't see the Twitch stream. Shortbread said if it's just a pure pace like an online time trial, should weather be put on clear because if it's in the wet? Well, it's a very good point. It looks as if the settings have been updated to say that it is clear, actually. Let me just confirm that for everybody. Yes, it is. It is a clear, dry race completely for the qualification race. So that's good news. So this will be a test of speed, consistency, and resolve for the drivers as we go into the next session. One-shot qualifying here at Portimao. Because for those that don't know, the lap record around here officially is 118.7 from Lewis Hamilton in 2020. Now, we're already going quicker than that here in Tier 2, but those updates to the ground effect cars have certainly made a difference around this track. And a fun fact for everybody, when the track was first commissioned in 2008, it took 7 months to build from scratch around Portimao, which is an incredible turnaround in terms of modern technology. Normally, even more expensive circuits take a lot longer than that. We're ready to go. So we're just waiting now for seconds. Before we start. Drivers will have 1 shot at getting this correct. So here we are. For the start of the second race of the evening, for the 1-shot qualifying around Portimao. This 4.6 kilometre circuit. Who will get the provisional pole? Everyone, of course, on soft tyres, no doubt about that. All sorts of names flying through at the moment. I'm going to wait for first sector time to come through before I start talking a little bit more about who could potentially get pole here. Psycho crosses the line first, and Money Game has retired. He is crashed out at turn 4. Let's have a look as they sweep through the leading group, going through 7 and 8 now. Looks like it's Jolty at the front at the moment. It's neck and neck between him and Psycho. That's the second sector being cut. Jolty leading the way. JMB Surreal is out. So this is going to be the run to the line. Jolty's got a bit of a gap here. It's going to be tight for second. But this should be Jolty's all the way to the line. And it is indeed. It's pole position for Jolty. Psycho in second. Jay Evans in third. Italy Toy in fourth. Those 4 drivers back in the 117s again. Fake Nutson, that's a great effort from Fake Nutson in fifth. There's the rest of the times there. Liam ended up 6th. The 2 McLarens are very close in speed. Liam in the steps, 6th and 7th place. You've got Il Checho in 8th place. Good to see Il Checho in the lobby, a race winner from last season. Good to see him getting in for this one. Tutty Boy in 9th, Frank Martin 10th, Jostling 11th, Cable Monkey 12th, Roby 13th, Sick Boy 14th, Luffy and Scatcher both setting lap times, but those are very unrepresentative times from those two. They must have had a spin. Mellow Bello, JMB Surreal, and Money Game not finishing their laps, and Mellow Bello being disqualified. So the AlphaTauris, again, not having the best qualifying sessions, but they both had strong races. So let's see how they get on for this. But those 4 at the front, Gavra, in fact, now officially confirming that Jolty is not the same as Jolty. There we go. We finally know. Thanks for that, Gav. So, one more race, the qualification race, starting in 30 seconds' time. I'm really excited to see how the drivers get on in a pure speed event, if you wish to call it that. Completely flat out, clear blue skies, not a cloud in sight here in Portimao. And the session starts in just a moment. So here are the lights for the qualification race here at Portimao. And the race is live from Portugal. Looks like a relatively even start from the second row of the grid, but Italy Toy TA has charged into second. He's past Psycho. Oh, and Fake Nutson goes right the way around the outside. He actually pushed wide, and that's them settled into their positions. Now, of course, for those that didn't know, no contact at all in this race. They are ghosting. This is all about qualifying speed and performance. But I just wanted to have a little comment going through turn 1, because I think everybody was a little bit like, where's I going to go? Is it going to be all clear? There you go now for certain. But it's the 2 Haas drivers in first and second position. Of course, strategies are going to vary at this point. Fake Nutson again having a wonderful start. But as I was saying, strategy is very different for this. Jay Evans on the medium tyres, the steps on the medium tyres, everyone else in the top 10 on the soft compound tyre. And this isn't about racecraft. This isn't about how well you can overtake someone. And I know some people in this will be thinking about wanting to get in front of everybody. Of course they will. As Jocelyn picks up a time penalty already, that's very early. But Jolty leads them over the line. And it's a 1-2 for Haas at the moment. So a really strong showing from the Haas team at the front at the moment. Oh, Psycho with a big wobble for turn 4. Well held. It's all very, very bunched up in the midfield pack. Several cars all just within a tenth or two of one another. So Italy Toy gets past Psycho for third place. There's Ilchecho, up to 5th is Ilchecho. Just in terms of the drivers who've made some places up, Ilchecho up to 5th place, of course, a race winner last season, very quick driver. Jossing, he's up 4 places, another good start for Jossing, very good at his starts. I've noticed this already this season for Jossing. And you've got Money Game in 11th, up 8 places, so wonderful start from the Williams. He's on the medium compound tyres as well. Oh, that's a huge spin for Psycho, and he's in the wall. Can he get going? It goes down the gears, and he's retired. That's game over. Psycho has given up. It was a huge snap of podium. Snap of oversteer, I should say. I say snap of podium, he probably would have done if he hadn't have made that mistake. That was a huge snap of oversteer through the final corner. I'm not quite sure how it happened. But Psycho, unfortunately, down and out. So that puts Ilchecho up to 4th place. He's watched his teammate fire off the circuit. Two McLarens, of course. It seems to be this is going to be a theme, hopefully, for this season for these two. And they're so similar in speed at the moment. Money Game now up to 9th place. He's having a great stint already. I'm going to have a look at the tyre compounds to see what everybody is on. So Jay Evans on the medium tyres, the steps on the mediums, as is Money Game, Tutty Boy, Cable Monkey, Sick Boy, J&B Surreal and Scatcher, all on the medium compounds. You see Toy TA with the fastest lap of the race. But I tell you, I've got to say, I'm really impressed with Fake Nuts, and this is, I know we're only 4 laps in, but this is a really good showing from him. Oh, someone has gone, that looks like a Red Bull, and that's Jossing, who's gone off 2 races in a row at the same corner, sadly. It's not ideal for him. But Fake Nuts, I'm really, really impressed with him. Oh, bit of a wheel spin moment for Jay Evans there. Loses a little bit at the back end. Drops place to Ilchecho. But Fake Nuts and having a good run at the front. We're only 4 laps in, of course, but really, really pleased with his progress. And Psycho has now left the session. You can't really see. Oh, as USA Toy goes past Fake Nuts and for 2nd place. Can't really see you, Italy Toy. He keeps phasing in and out on my screen. But regardless, this is really encouraging for Fake Nuts, and he was a driver who really shone in the mixed conditions last season. He got a podium in Miami thanks to a cracking drive from the back of the field. He ended up finishing 3rd that day, and he was driving for Alpine. So Fake Nuts and is showing the progress that drivers make within league racing. How much improvement you can make. Ilchecho running in 4th position, Jay Evans there. On the medium tyres, of course, Jay Evans, as is the steps. Frank Martin in 8th place. A much more quieter affair for Frank in this one. Money Game right with him as well on the mediums. In fact, a lot of medium tyre runners from 9th to 12th place are all running together there. This is what these races are all about, though. Finding out who is quick enough for Tier 1, Lobby 1, who's quick enough for Tier 2, Lobby 2. But Jorthy putting into practice what he was unable to do in the first race when he unfortunately had that incident at turn 1 and he got taken out. But Utility Toy looking very quick at the moment, look very racy. Oh, got another spinner. I think that's Frank Martin. That is the commentator's curse, and he's gone off. He rejoins at turn 2, but I think he's gone off through turn 1 and hit that inside curb. And he drops to the back of the field. Scatcher just hanging on to the back of that group. He's a couple of seconds back, but he's on the medium tyres for now, and that could just bring him back to Luffy and Jossing. Psycho just joining the chat room here that I can see to say that it was a bad second race. Oh well. Also got, of course, in the chat room at the moment, whilst the race is going on, a few familiar drivers. Shortbread 224 in the chat as well. The reigning champion, of course. Shortbread from last season. Took that championship down to the wire, and that is Haskar into the pits, and it's Fake Knutson deciding he's had enough of the soft compound tyres. He's going for the medium, so he's the first to bolt into the pits. Anybody else going to take the same strategy? I don't think they are. I've unfortunately cursed Scatcher again there, sadly, because he did then make a mistake, and he's now some 7 seconds away from the rest of the field, so that's not worked out for him. Italy Toy TA in the lead. Got past Jorty earlier on. And now running to his own pace. He doesn't have to think about anybody around him. He doesn't have to think about anybody trying to overtake him. He's a second clear. He doesn't have to worry about DRS. Realistically, at this point, he should be a second clear, and it looks like he is. Although Jorty trying to use DRS to get involved, but he's not quite within DRS. And Italy Toy bolts himself into the pits. So the gap, as he went into the pit lane to... Where is Fake Knutson? There is Fake Knutson on track. He's last at the moment, but he's 24 seconds behind the leaders at that point. Jay Evans now resumes in the lead of the race. Italy Toy TA is coming down the main straight now, as is Jorty. Oh, big wiggle from Jorty as he comes out of the pits. Oi, through they all go. Fake Knutson rejoins the fun, just about in third place. But his tyres will be up to temperature compared to his teammates, and he goes past Jorty. And that's the difference in tyre temperature, ladies and gentlemen. It just made enough of a difference to put Fake Knutson in front of his teammate, behind you Italy Toy TA, but that won't matter to Fake Knutson. That has made a little bit of difference, and that tyre preparation of the extra lap has just bought about half a second. Oh, as Scatcher goes around there in front of them. That's Fake Knutson into 10th place. He's actually pulled away and right up behind you Italy Toy TA. So, good race so far. Yellow flag in sector 1, and Jay Evans has gone round. The race leader, who was looking so good on those medium tyres, has dropped it on the exit of turn 1. And he falls down to 4th place. Oh, he's not going to be happy at all with that. It looked like he just clipped the curb, as Liam picks up a time penalty now. It looked as if he just clipped the curb through turn 1, and that was that. Around he went, and he's going to fall far, far away now from that leading fight, which he was involved in. Oh, there's another car around there. Looked like an AlphaTauri, and it is. It's JMB Surreal who's made a mistake coming through Samsung. JMB3 up to speed now. So the Steps leads the way. This has been such a strong showing from the McLaren driver. He finished second in the race earlier. He leads currently. He'll have a soft tyre strategy in about a lap or two. We saw the leading drivers start to make their pit stops a little bit later. They were doing it at lap 11 and 12, but admittedly, they were probably trying to extend the tyre life as far as they could. But Money Game is flying here. Considering he started 19th, he's in second, still yet to make a pit stop, of course. And when he does make a pit stop, as Fate Knutson and Jorty are fighting together side by side, and when he does rejoin the race, he's going to come out just behind Il Cecco by the looks of it. That'd be a really, really positive performance from him, a really positive fight back. Who's that? That's another Ferrari round. Is it Jay Evans again? I think Jay Evans has gone off again. He has. Jay Evans in the Ferrari has made the mistake again. And all hopes of maybe even a top 10 finish now for Jay Evans has unfortunately gone by the wayside. And you can see how this lobby, in terms of tier 2 for this season, is going to be absolutely fantastic, because it's going to be so unpredictable. As Tutty Boy comes into the pits, gets overtaken by his boy rival, Mr. Sick himself, who is in third place. And meanwhile, in the fight for the technically virtual lead, Money Game goes through. The Steps will have DRS, but Money Game probably won't be thinking too much about that. What a recovery from Money Game. Started 19th, he's in the lead. And I'm looking at the gap. He is currently 18 seconds ahead of USA Toyota. So he'll come out, and the Steps will come out roughly 4 to 5 seconds, providing it's a good pit stop, behind the leading, I would want to say the leading 4 drivers. USA Toyota, Jorty, Fake Knutson and Il Cecco. Jay Evans now in the pits, down in 15th place. That's a lot of work he's got to do to try and get back to the points. Cable Monkey and Sick Boy changing places, sharing the same tarmac. And the Steps goes into the pit lane in the McLaren. Money Game deciding to go on for another lap. Must feel very comfortable on those medium tyres. Fake Knutson and Il Cecco sharing the same part of the racetrack. Into the pits goes Cable Monkey. Now where does the Steps come out? Because he was right with Money Game. USA Toy blasts past, as do the other drivers from the top 4. And go through turn 1. Steps now comes out of the pit lane. So the gap between them is 5 seconds. Between the Steps and Fake Knutson. Will the soft tyres be able to do 1 second per lap? It's going to be interested to see whether he closes the gap. And the day for Jay Evans goes from bad to worse. He gets a 3-second time penalty. Just not his night in this race. But he won the first race, so he can take that with him. Be more happy about that one, I suspect. Meanwhile, there's a huge gaggle of cars fighting over 10th place. Jay Evans has actually got himself into the points. So third place, he's completely disregarded my previous comments, and the drivers around him who he's fighting have all got time penalties. So Jay Evans won't have to worry too much about that. Now, when will Money Game? Money Game has not pitted again. He stayed out. Sick Boy looks like he's coming in. And he is indeed. So Sick Boy comes into the pit lane. He's probably going to come out behind his rival of Tutty Boy. Quite considerably, actually. And Tutty Boy actually pitted 1 lap earlier than the Steps, and he's right with him, so that's a good strategy call for the Alfa Romeo. And he's with the Steps. He showed some good speed, so for Tutty, he'll just want to try and hang on. So the only driver yet to make a pit stop is Money Game 44, who you would feel will come in this lap. When he does pit, I imagine he's going to come out behind the steps, I think. He's just lost a little bit too much time on those medium tyres, and he's hugging the inside line. Pit comes Money Game. Good stint out the front for the Williams. He just trundles down the pit lane, limited of course to 50 miles an hour on tracks such as this. Puts on a brand new set of soft compound tyres. He's been released, but WL2 goes past, as do the rest of the top four. Where is the steps in relation to Money Game? There he is. He goes through, and Tutty Boy will go through as well. But nonetheless, Money Game has gone from 19th to 7th. Whether there's going to be any more points to play for, we'll soon find out in the remaining 4 laps. WL2 TA is in the lead, but he's lost a little bit of time. I wonder if he had a little wobble somewhere. He was 2 seconds clear of Jorty. It just seems to have come down to 1 second, so maybe a little bit of a moment coming out of the hairpin potentially for you, Italy. Il Cecco there in 3rd place, and Fake Knutson in 4th. The steps is bringing the gap down to himself and Fake Nut. I just don't know if he'll have enough time to catch him. Let's see what these laps are though from the soft tyre runners. Jay Evans, the man with the fastest lap on a 1:19.3. It's really the Money Game, or rather Money Game, I'm going to watch, because he is the driver who you would expect is going to set fastest lap. So he's absolutely caught the back of Tutty Boy, and will probably get through him, I think, with DRS. And he's just going to drive straight through him. He doesn't need to think about it. He's 2 tenths up on his best lap already. Fair play to Tutty Boy, trying to have an attack back at him. Actually lost a little bit of time in the process, did Tutty Boy. Liam in 8th. He's had a quietly assured race as Liam, just not been involved in anything, really. Which you would expect, of course, because there's no contact within this qualification race. But he's just driving around doing what he needs to do. He's not far away from his teammate either. Let's have a look at the gap, see if it's changing. Yeah, Money Game is catching. He's flying at the moment. He's got some speed on those soft tyres. The steps have got the gap down to himself and Fake Knutson to about 3 seconds. What's Money Game's fastest lap going to be? Is this going to be enough to take it? It is indeed. So 1:19.3. Fastest lap of the race. And that was... Oh, Roby goes round again. Just saw a reset to track from Roby, and he's retired from the session. So not a good race for the 2 Mercedes. Scatcher having a bit of a difficulty at the back, but he's still running, which is the main thing. Jorty can't quite get within a second of WL2. There's Il Cecco in 3rd. Oh, Jorty picks up a 3-second time penalty, so that's going to bring Fake Knutson onto the podium, providing he keeps within 3 seconds. Having said that, Jorty now within DRS. And that's Jay Evans around again. Oh, he's the duality of man, Jay Evans. He had a wonderful first race and disappointing second race. Jay Evans is now been joined by his teammate of Luffy in 13th place. Money Game is right up on the back of the steps at the moment. He's going to have 1 lap. He wouldn't need to overtake the steps because he's got a time penalty. And with Il Cecco on a penalty, Fake Knutson's on for 2nd place here, and that's a very profitable weekend for the Haas driver as we go on to the final lap. Money Game goes through into 5th. Job done. Steps trying to fight back, of course, but I think Money Game is trying to focus on getting as close to the top three as he can. Gap is now 6.2 seconds, and that's Jay Evans retiring from the session in the pit lane. Well, the drivers who finished first and third in the first race, both retiring in this one. Technically, Jay Evans will be classified as finishing, but neither of them seeing the checkered flag. Look at Jorty, how much he's caught up to the back of you Italy toys here. Not that it will matter for you Italy. He's not going to lose 3 seconds on this final lap. But however, having said that, let's not jump the gun, because we know it went down to the final corner before, so you Italy just has to keep things nice and tidy through these final 2 corners. Don't run wide now, this is all for him, and it is indeed. You Italy Toy TA crosses the line and wins the qualification race here at Portimao. Jorty ends up getting into it's a Haas 2-3. Money Game put in so much speed at the end. He got 4th place. What a drive. The Steps finishes 5th. Il Checho had a bigger penalty than I realised. He's in 6th. Tutty Boy 7th. Liam 8th. Cable Monkey will end up 10th thanks to a penalty. Sick Boy gets points in 9th. Milo Bello in 11th, just outside the points for the number 82. Luffy, Frank Martin, J&B Surreal, Scatcher. This is a fight for the end. Can Jossi get past Scatcher? This is going to be it. Round the final corner. Scatcher will be hoping. He's going to use all of his ERS's Jossing. This is it for the final position. Not to get the wooden spoon. Jossing's going to go past him. Scatcher using the ERS to come back. He gets the position. Right at the end. Scatcher gets 50th, Jossing 16th. That was fun right at the end. Money Game gets driver of the day. And rightfully so. Oh, it was really fun to watch. But it's the Alpine colours got at the top step of the podium. It's You Italy Toy TA, race winner last season, race winner in the qualification race in the Alpine. Jorty, 2nd in the Haas. Didn't quite convert his pole position, but first podium. He'll be happy with that. Fake Knudsen, another podium. This is big progress for the Haas driver. Can he make the step forward to get to 2nd place? Maybe a win this season? We'll have to wait and find out. Money Game, certainly one to watch. Money Game and the Steps VRBS, both of them very impressive. Il Checho back in 6th place. He'll be fighting at the front just like last season. Tutty Boy, Liam, another driver who impressed today, as did Tutty Boy. Sick Boy getting some points. Cable Monkey rounding out the point. Top 10 there. Shortbread saying, can you do a Twitch comments poll? I can't control, I don't control that, unfortunately. Shortbread, I wish I could. But Milo Bello 11th, Fluffy 12th, Frank Martin 13th, J&B Surreal 14th, Scatcher getting Jossing at the line, and he had a penalty Jossing anyway, so it didn't matter. That's not what it's about. J Evans, Roby and Psycho rounding out the other drivers who didn't finish. So that is it then for the qualification race here at Portimao. It was a great set of races that we had there. It was a little bit less intense for the qualification race, of course, without the contact, but that's not what it's about, of course. It's all about making sure the drivers are in the right lobby for the start of the season, which begins next week for round 1 at a track to be determined, of course, later on this evening. So if you are watching now on Twitch, or if you're watching this back on YouTube, make sure you check out Gavra Racing and subscribe, of course, and follow on the Twitch account, and check out the Tier 1 race right at the end of the stream, because that is when the calendar will be revealed, which I'm sure will be excellent. I'm excited for the season ahead. It's going to be interesting to see adapt, and hopefully it'll be as chaotic as it was this evening. But as always, I've been Jack TM53, your commentator for Tier 2 and Tier 1 here at Gavra Racing. And wherever you might be in the big wide world, have a good one. See you at 8.